right, good morning everyone, or good afternoon, and welcome to the 12 p.m. Tech Bits mini series for our 9 members. Today we're going to be talking, this is our second lesson on Google Drive, so this is Drive 2, and we'll be covering the different types of files and how to learn and recognize icons, as well as some settings features. So let's go ahead and get started. The whole point of today is coming together and just becoming more and more familiar with Google Suites and other technology resources. So we want to be able to maybe do a little bit of practice and play at the end of the session. So make sure that you hang around, or if you have a question or something you want to tackle, you can just share your screen and go through it together. TechBit norms, kind of like our other meetings, we just want to be active listeners, open and honest. Don't be afraid to take risks or ask questions. This is a very relaxed setting, so this is your chance to ask those questions and put yourself out there. And allow others to have aha moments, because we're all at different stages of learning, so let's just respect each other and where we're at in the game. All right, so let's get started. The last thing I want to do is make sure that you go back to the schedule and agenda. Check out the PowerPoints and notes that I post, because at the end of the PowerPoint, we have some resources. And Amanda, specifically speaking to you, tips and shortcuts for teachers to save time using Google Drive. I want to tell you, watch that video because it has the copy, forced copy. And it looks like an easier way than what we had discussed earlier. So go ahead and check that out. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to stop share. So what I've done is I've just kind of, like I do every day, go into Gmail and click on the Rubik's Cube, and I just simply click on this Drive icon to open up my Drive and get that going. And in Drive, you have all sorts of different types of files that you have access to for free. And in this case, we have access to Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and Google Forms. So Docs and everything in Google Suites is basically a slimmed down version of Microsoft Word or Excel. Okay, that would be the easiest, or PowerPoint. That would be the easiest way to explain it. So you're going to find some features that are similar, but it's definitely going to be more simplistic. So Google Docs is an online word processor that lets you create and format documents much like Word, and you can share this. And anything like in Google Suites, and this is why we use it at Region 9, is that we have the ability to collaborate quickly with each other and work on projects together. So with Google Docs, like I said, kind of looking at this top, it looks a little similar to the Word type of navigations, but a lot less options and a lot less meaty, which I like, because sometimes when I'm working in Word and they've done some updates, I'm like, whoa, how do I even update, change the background color? And then I've got to hunt around for it. In Google, it's a lot more simplistic. So that's an example of Docs. The other nice file that we have access to is Sheets. Again, Google Sheets is a slim, trimmed down version of Excel. So much like Excel, with all of the handy little tools that you're able to use, for the most part, everything that you're going to need is there. The awesome thing about Google Sheets is, again, it allows you to collaborate with your coworkers or anyone that you want to share your docs with. The next file that's offered in Google Suites is Google Slides. And if you click on Google Slides, it's going to open up, again, another slimmed down, trimmed down version of PowerPoint presentation. The nice thing about this, once again, is that you're able to collaborate if you share this with other individuals. So I don't know if many of you guys have played with Draw, but Draw is pretty interesting. I've used it a lot of times, which is our final form that, actually next to our final one that we want to go through. But if you click on more, if you go to create and click on more, you can see that there's an area that opens up more apps. and that's where you're going to find Google Draw. And Google Draw allows users to create content by drawing, pasting image, linking videos, websites, inserting text, shapes, colors. This is an awesome way or an awesome place, again, that you can share and collaborate with others. But say that I'm working on a flow chart. Often for work, we have to kind of create flow charts. This would be an excellent app to create flow charts in and share. Does anybody have any questions about the files that I just went through so far? Okay, see, you guys are pros. The last one that I want to talk about, and this is awesome, is Google Forms. And if you haven't had a chance to utilize Google Forms, I would definitely encourage you to try to create one and share it. The main purpose that I have used Google Forms for is collecting valuable feedback and information from either employees or district staff. So if you're working on a project and you're kind of needing to know where to start, you can create a simple form. Again, you can share this just like any other Google Suites app with other collaborators. Often we do that in TechBits with the TechBits team. We have a survey that's going to be going out, and I collaborated with Amanda, and she helped me with formatting those questions that we're going to send out to the principals, teachers, and other district staff. So forms is an excellent area. And the nice thing about forms is it'll come back, and the responses, you can all have them filter right into a spreadsheet. So you can then organize your data in a constructive manner. Well, we'll talk about those in more depth and details as we start our next lesson next week. I kind of want to go back to my main drive. We've talked about the different apps that are kind of ready to use in Google Suites, but how do you recognize those apps? You want to really become familiar with your icons. Google uses icons all over the place. So in this case, for icons, I'm going to cut over back to my notes. Oops, nope. Now I have so many things open. There we are. So these are the notes that I've created for today, and I just want to quickly show you a quick visual of those icons that you want to kind of pay attention to. So you have Google Docs, which is the blue icon. The green icon is Google Sheets. The yellow icon is Google Slides. The red icon with the different shapes is Google Draw. And the last one, the purple one, is Forms. So those are kind of what the icons look like. But what does it look like, and how can we recognize different icons when we're in Drive? So if you notice, I have this view set, and you can list your view. So if I click on this, it'll go to a listing, or it'll go to icons. And I kind of prefer this myself because I'm more of a visual person. So if you look at the kind of close to the bottom left-hand side, you will see a different type of icon showing. In this case, it looks a little different, doesn't it, than our green icon that we just looked at, because it is a uploaded Excel file in Google Docs. So what's nice is if I'm collaborating with the state of New Mexico, in this case it was the New Mexico PED, they do everything in Excel. But what I do is I download it and upload it into my Google Docs, and then I'm able to work on that doc and then share it and collaborate with the state if I need to. So that just kind of lets me know what type of doc. In this case, this is Google Slides, and you can see the slideshow. And there's just so many different other docs. You can also look for a Word document. When you are downloading or uploading files that have been pre-created, sometimes they're in Word format. Don't worry about it, because you can upload that document into your Google Drive and be able to operate it. Now keep in mind, and I've learned this the hard way, when you do download sometimes and convert that document into your Drive, it may possibly adjust the formatting. So just be aware. I'm not really sure what the solution for that is, but I've just had to pick and choose and just be aware that definitely may happen if I'm converting or downloading anything. So that brings us to our next section. Convert or not. I mean, this is all up to you guys. I go ahead and have, what that means is I go ahead and have my drive set that if I'm downloading anything, I want it to convert it to a functional uh, working document in Drive. Now you do have an option to change that setting. So let's go through how you would make that decision to convert or not in Google Drive. So what you want to do is, again, look for those important icons, the gearbox setting. If I click on that, it's going to give me a drop down. And what I want to do is click on the settings again and open up my general area. In this area, if you scroll down, actually, you don't have to scroll down. It's the second section from the top. It says Convert Uploads. So this converts uploads to Google Docs in your editor format. So I have mine checked, but you can uncheck it, and then it will allow a prompt and download the document as is if you want to store it in that manner. Or I believe it'll give you a pop-up that allows you to choose. So just be careful. Do most of you guys have your converter set up in your settings?
Yes, I do.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I tend to work that way, and that's worked for me because we just do so much in Google Suites that it's just an easier setting um, to have in place. So, um, do we have any questions so far or comments?
I don't see anything. I've been
Okay.
watching.
Okay, awesome. We're making great time, so let's just keep on trucking. The other thing is, and we've kind of talked about this before, is to um, recognize different icons or formats. So in this case, I have a PDF that's stored in my drive, and I will see a PDF icon. And knowing the formats of how they're stored allows you to just make a better decision if you've ever got to open it or change it into another type of document. In these cases, whoa, I got a lot of PDFs in that file. I'm trying to look for a word. Let's see. If you see one, y'all holla. Nope. I wonder if I can just search Word. Nice thing about Google, oh, Jennifer Word comes up. Word docs. Okay, here's one. Oh, I didn't want to do that though, but whatever. It's opening a Word doc that I have, and I don't even know what this is. Oh, it's probably when I was working on something for Rio Doso a long time ago when I was at School-Based Health Center. So, but if you notice, it has a different type of word format or icon that lets me know that it's a Word document. So going back to Drive, so Excel sheets, I know in Kudo I will have some sort of Excel sheets. You'll definitely notice the green icon for Excel or Google Sheets, the blue icon for Word or, now if it's a Word document, it will have a W. So you'll be able to distinguish that pretty easily. And same thing for slides and PowerPoints. Slides in Google, it's going to be coming up as a yellow icon. And PowerPoint presentations will have a different format. Let's see if I can pull one up. See, it has a P and it's orange. Can everybody see that?
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you for communicating because I can't see your faces when I'm in the share mode. So that is kind of everything was on the agenda to talk about today, and it's been pretty easy and pretty simple. Um, Next week, we are going to be covering and actually kind of diving into more of the files and how they, um, for example, we're going to be talking about Google Docs. So you're going to learn how to create new, name it, share it, and how to collaborate and set um, different types of editing modes. So hopefully you can tune in next week for that. I'm going to go ahead and stop share, go back to the group, and Amanda, I don't know if you want to, that video should be pretty short, but if you
Uh-huh.
want to kind of share with the team or this group what you learned about how to make or how to force copy.
Well, I haven't watched the video yet.
Did you practice it though? Because I know you're going to use
No, not
the.
this
You didn't have a
week. I
chance.
was going to be working on it um, probably next week because I have to get that going. So,
Okay.
but what I was needing to do was make a document. I don't know if you've ever been on a website and you're like, oh, I'd like to try that. And so you click on the link for an editable version and it forces you to make a copy. Have you ever seen that, guys?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's ever popped up. So I was asking April last week how to, when I'm creating a website like for mentorship, and I want them to be able to download an editable version of a doc that I've got saved in Google Docs, how to force them to make a copy. So they can't even download it until they make a copy of it. And so that's what she was kind of referencing. It's in that video, I guess, in one of the video links that she said, the resources for teachers. So,
Yeah, and I don't know. We have a few minutes. It's really up to you guys. This is kind of your opportunity to ask any questions that you may be having, and we can practice and play together. So if you don't and you want to take a few minutes, I think it's only like 3 minute video, and then it shows you just the three top things that maybe teachers would use in Drive, and it talks about that force copy. Shayla, you're shaking your head. You're shaking
Yes,
your head.
I'm shaking my head because I think if no one has any questions, if it would be okay to watch that video, just to be more
Sure.
familiar.
Okay, great. Now,
Classroom. Today we're going to be talking about how to save time with Google Drive. I'll be presenting 3 different shortcuts that I think will be helpful, especially for teachers. Now, without further ado, let's get started. First, I'm going to share a really handy shortcut on how to create a new document. This is a really quick and easy way to create a new Google Doc, so I'll just type in docs.new into my address bar here,
that
and
was
you'll
a new
see
feature we
now
learned,
I
you guys.
have a new Google Doc. Next, we're going to look at how to force students to make a copy. Let's say that you have a Google Doc that you want to share with your students, but you want to force them to make a copy of this document. For example, let's say that you have a table like this one that you want your students to fill out. Now, if you were to share this document with them normally, you might have 20 or so kids all editing it at the same time, which you don't want. So instead, you can force each user to make a copy. So I'll go up here to the address bar, and where it says edit, I will delete that and I will type in the word copy. Now when I click enter, you'll see that anyone with this URL here will be forced to make a copy of this file. And when they click this button here that says make a copy, it'll be added to their Google Drive. So I'll just grab this URL here and I will send it to my students. And lastly, I'll show you how to do an advanced search of your drive. The Google Drive search bar feature works really well for the most part, but let's say you're looking for a very specific file that you're having trouble locating. For example, when I type in design thinking into this search bar right here, I have like 100 files that pop up, which isn't that helpful. So if you click this down arrow right here, you can do an advanced search and you can add in some specific details. So for example, I can type in, okay, I know that the title of my file has the term design thinking in it. And I know that the document I'm looking for, somewhere within it has the words playground project in it. So then I'll click the search button And you'll see now I only have 4 results versus 100, which is a lot better. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you found
All right, so Amanda, super easy. I saw this video and I was like,
Yes.
oh, I gotta put that out there for you. So
That's so much easier than what we looked up the other day. So thank you.
And we reviewed 2 other nice little tips and tricks that we've learned together. The docs.new. All right, so anytime that you kind of type in your address bar, docs.new, sheets.new. So if you're just at a quick spot and you have an open tab, you can just type that in and it just pops up a new doc for you. And I've never used that feature, so that was new for me. And then the make a copy, and then the advanced search. I've never really used the advanced search. I just kind of use the search toolbar at the top. But if you do click on that drop-down caret, it will open up more specific fields for you to search all of your docs that you have in. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and stop share. All right. Hey, Fred. And that is all that I have for you today. Oh. And if we want to, Amanda, I don't know if you want to share screen and play, or if you just want to play on your own and we'll kind of come back together. It's up to you.
I think that's up to you. I was
up to
letting
me?
my husband in the door. Sorry.
That's okay. Or Miss Shyla, if you have some other questions or kind of anything.
No, I don't have any more questions. Thank you for sharing that video. And for the entire presentation, I learned a lot. So thank you for that.
Aw, you're sweet. Thank you.
Hey, I wanted to share something.
Okay, Fred.
As you're doing, I do advanced searches. Because you can do it by who owns the document and be specific. But doing events and all the online stuff, we've decided to label our stuff by date. So when I know an event, like Amanda has an event coming up for dossier, I put the year, so we were really specific, year, dot, month, dot, day. So then when I do a search, I just do that day and just that stuff pops up, which is much easier than trying to remember how you named the document. Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
Right, and that's a really helpful tip, organization tip for Google Drive. All the videos that I've watched kind of setting up on these presentations, that is definitely one. It's a naming file system. So just be really strategic in that and how you name your files, and you'll definitely have an easier time searching. So I agree with you, Fred.
So like for Amanda's example, who's using dossier trainings, I have a folder named Amanda.
Oh, joy.
She's gonna be our next president. And then and then then I have each training. Each week she's doing a training. I have it by date, each folder, and the name of the training. So that way, it's easy to locate. But I think that's the easiest way to find it, by date. But just a suggestion.
Another thing I really like about that advanced search feature, and you kind of showed this last week, April, is I have a ton of stuff for mentorship, but some of it's a slide presentation and some of it's a Google Doc, or all different kinds of things. I have forms. And so what I find myself doing a lot is searching by the type of format. So you can choose which one you want to search through on that advanced search bar, and I do that a lot.
So do you type in like maybe the title and then the type of doc? Is that what you mean? Okay.
So
awesome.
You can click, there's a little like down caret on that, and I type in part of the title, or like she showed, a few things that I know are in there, and then I tell it which type of file I'm looking for. And typically it's kind of like her, it narrows 100 down to like 2 or 3.
So what we're talking about here is the search and drive, correct? If I click that down,
go up,
type,
the very first one.
Oh,
and then you can tell it which one you want. So that helps me a lot too.
Okay. So yes, you are absolutely right. I forgot about the type. I think I just kind of.
But I will be using Fred's recommendation too. So thank you, Fred.
Well, this is the first time that I've learned about the sliding bar advanced search options. I never really have used it in that manner, so that was new for me. So that kind of helps, especially as you get more and more stuff in your drive. Whew, it gets pretty hectic. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and let's stop the recording.